Welcome to the Narrowboat at Jamesville. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. Well, on the 8th of September, I'm getting craned into here. The plan is going to be to crane me onto the trolley, and then we've reserved the trolley for a couple of days, which basically means we can test the boat for the water testing for kind of 1 or 2 days. And then if it all works and everything's fine, which it should be, then I can go out onto the main cut. That obviously gives me a few days to crack on with those main jobs again. So batteries, the cable is coming I think tomorrow, but we can crimp it up here, so we'll just cut and measure it here. Solar, I really need to get those cables in. I need to work out a way of doing it. I think I'm going to have to take down some ceiling panels in order to do that, so that's irritating. The deck, that's being delivered today, yeah, I'm getting the joists and 7 3x3.6 metre boards delivered. Darren, the Signwriting, is coming as well today. Just really kind of mindful of the weather. There's some real ominous big grey clouds about. They've doubled the chances of forecast rain, which is not good. Although they've doubled it from 1% to 2%, but now it's a 6% chance of rain. So it's still minimal, but there's a microclimate around canals, so certainly in this area is massive valleys, so just a little bit kind of nervous about that. And Paul's doing the anodes, and we're doing some those uprights in the engine bay, so loads to crack on with. Right, it's time to put on the second coat of blacking on this side now. And now the starboard side has had its second coat of blacking, and it does look a lot better than it did. With all these little bits down here kind of hanging off the boat where old skin fittings were that have been kind of patched up awfully, this is certainly not the show side of the boat. The other side, by comparison, looks much nicer, much cleaner lines. There's a skin fitting there by the sink. There'll be another one there for the gas locker, and there's that one there for the bilge pumps. But yeah, this side is certainly the prettier to look at. It looked really good. I can't wait for the name to go on it.
What angle do you want that up? About centred on the...
I reckon...
Slightly up from centre, or...?
Yeah, slightly up from centre.
Yeah. You've got your shading and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got about 11 that way and 14 that way. Yeah.
timber's arrived. I've got these composite boards here. So 7 of them.
You happy with that sort of colour? 'Cause that's a bit of a... It's going to be an awkward one to get exact like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere on them,
That's
or a
yeah.
touch lighter.
No, I reckon that's that's pretty good.
Off. Do you want
And
it as a solid colour, or do
no,
you
with a bit of
the flecking,
with a bit of the
black
flecking, yeah, a bit of the black flecking, and maybe a bit of a white dot on it.
Yeah, yeah. There's a highlight. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. So the first part of the signage has been done. A few little bits to touch up, both for me and for Darren. And now he's going to go on with the slows. And then do the other side. Someone brought it up on my channel a couple of days ago about the gas locker. I've had a bit of a change of heart about the gas locker, and to my credit, there is a bit of logic to it. The idea of getting the new gas locker was to fit in 2 13 kilogram bottles of gas. At the moment this fits in a 6 and a 13, and all the gubbins that goes with it. The other gas locker that I was going to have made was also going to take into account this gap here, basically making up that triangle. It would have made the lid a little bit bigger, and obviously it would have given that door something kind of solid to push up against. Unfortunately, the triangular bit there adds zero space, zero usable space to the gas locker. You can't store anything else inside a gas locker other than gas. So that is just wasted space. And to change the gas locker, just to gain that bit of wasted space, is going to mean that I have to get Dale round to kind of change the fittings and do all the gas testing and stuff like that. And also the cost of a new gas locker, which is about 200 quid. So I'm going to kind of make do with it as it is. If down the line I cannot get on board with having a 6 and a 13, then I could possibly change it. The other thing I can do is make it taller and therefore put the gubbins higher up, and therefore I can put in 2 13s because I've moved the bits out of the way of the gas cans. But as it is, I'm going to leave it. It's all in place. The 13 is enough to power the water heater, which Dale's going to install probably end of September. So yeah, I'm just going to make my peace with it and do it as it is. In which case I need to modify the lid slightly, and then I need to paint it and get it all nice, and then come up with some kind of cushion idea for the top of that. And I think I might use some of the leftover bits of decking. Annoyingly, it's starting to drizzle, so I'm going to protect the other side with some surplus board I've got. Well, our temporary rain cover is working a little bit, and it's shielding this side, and Darren tells me that the paint on the other side will have already dried by now, so that's rather good news. Oh, Darren, you've done such a good job, mate. That is amazing.
Glad you like it. If you can give us a mention, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll give you.
Send us that video with it speeded up. That'd be good.
Yeah, I will do, pal. Well, that has been an amazing morning's work. Weather's been all right. This stuff is dry now. My word, Darren's done a good job. That really is incredible. Whilst Paul's welding on the old anodes back on, I'm going to start getting the deck laid down. pulls now welded in those two uprights there, so it provides a bit more strength and rigidity to the back of the frame. Fantastic. Right, I'm now in a position where I can start laying the joists and well, ready for the deck. This is going to take some time. I've got to make sure at the kind of the most there is a kind of 350mm gap, at a 350mm gap between them. Really, that's the plan. So just one here, and then a full length one going across there. That'll be the plan first. The idea is I'm going through with these 100mm M10s, a couple of washers, and then some nylock nuts on them. And in terms of getting this kind of square or anything, I'm not going to really bother with it. It's it's going to take the contour of the frame, but really what I want to do is just make sure it's kind of resting nicely, because obviously this frame's got little bumps and lumps and stuff into it. So the plan is going through with a wood drill bit first, go all the way down to the frame, and then go through with an appropriate drill bit for the, what's that, 5mm steel. Okay, so now I've drilled that out. Obviously I'm putting the boards on top of this, so I need to excavate some of that, otherwise you're going to see the head of the bolt through that. So it's a bit of an ugly way of doing it, but I'm going in with a 32. The reason for that is because I'm going to need to get in there with this thing, so that'll give me enough clearance to get in there. You're not going to see any of it, so it doesn't really matter. So just going in with a 32mm spade bit. This is horrible. Luckily, not much has to come out. It's only enough for me to be able to hide the bolt and a washer, so that'll be fine. Excellent, so it all fits in. Now I'm just going to tighten them all up. So I've got these M10 nylock nuts on here. Obviously this area is going to be prone to quite a lot of vibration, so I could double nut it, but I'm just going to go on with these nylocks, which work quite well. But really what I want to do now is test out that once all these are secured and tightened, but this joist doesn't move at all. So as you can see, it's got a little bit of movement to it at the minute. That's bloody secure. That's good. That's the first one in. Now the second one, much the same process. And obviously the gap between these two is very small. So in order to preserve the life of the drill, because I've got so many of these to drill, I'm kind of using a variety of drills to get through it in the end, but it's working. So now, cover that piece. I need some more washers. There we go. Excellent. 2 done. I've needed to make a couple of slight adjustments to this one here, just so it fits in evenly against those two and rests nicely in the right at the corners there. So the easy way of doing this that I've found is going about the spade drill bit first, just checking there's nothing underneath, no diesel pipes or anything. There is, but that's miles away. So the centre of that. Superb. Right. That's 3 done. So every now and then you just need to get away from the boat and recharge. So I'm going to the tool station to get some more bitumen. Well, the reason it looks like a bomb's gone off in here again is because I am having to redo the undergunnel conduit. The reason for it is because, if you remember, I cut through the old, where's it gone? Yeah, I cut through the old, there it is, undergunnel lights, so they don't work anymore. I've got some new ones, so I've got rid of all them. So I've got some new ones here. Where are they now? Oh, there they are. And what I've got to do, also what I didn't realise, is the last time I laid them all out, with those diffuser strips I bought, I lined them all up and then put all the lighting in and then went to put these in. But there's, unlike conduit where you kind of click them in, these have to be slid in and you need enough clearance, and I didn't leave myself enough clearance on them. So on this one, basically you've got to put the aluminium casing on there, then put the lights in, then put that in, and then do the next one. So that's the plan. But before I do that, I'm just going to test the new lights work. They might not now. What should be on? Where's my controller? So this is the controller for those lights. So for it to be compatible, it's got to work on these ones. Aha, good. Right, so let's just check they work. Green, red, pink, yellow, white, party. Cool. I've really got to tidy up. Joss is coming around for a little bit of a jam later as well, and this place looks like a, well, it looks exactly how it is. Today's just been brilliant. Obviously the sign writing, I mean, Darren is just brilliant. Watching him work is just a thing of beauty. It's mesmerizing. It's just the skill is just amazing. I did manage to capture the whole process, so I'll do a video tomorrow or over the weekend just about the sign writing, because it deserves it. It deserves way more than obviously just a little bit so I could show in tonight's video. It's just fantastic. But a few people have obviously come over to the boat, Nigel and Lynn and John and Paul and a few other people, and it's quite striking, the lettering. I kind of wanted it to be, it just works. That Johnston 100 is a really kind of noticeable font, and the styling he's done it in and with the shading is great. So thank you. A few people on the comments on the last video did mention to do it in cream with the Manchester red shading, and it's worked really well. It's a real kind of traditional color and font. It just works as it should do. It looks like a 1971 London Transport font. Little musical notes with the slows. I mean, look, some people are going to like it, some won't, but it's a narrowboat. If you can't be quirky and odd and eccentric and different on a narrowboat, then blimey, you can't anywhere. So I'm happy with that. I think it's lovely. For those of you that do want to know, the geeks out there, the swan on the front of the boat was the old traditional CRT swan, not the new logo. So I did go for the old one. But again, yeah, the numbering up there, it's just, I mean, I just recognise it as London Transport. It's just lovely. So that's good. So yeah, I'll put out the video tomorrow, but and with all of Darren's contact details on it and everything like that. So if you want anything like that done, shop fronts or anything else, get in touch with Darren. He's brilliant. So both anodes have been put on today. So that's good. I need to re-black around there. The two uprights have been put inside the engine bay, so that's good. It's kind of providing a bit more support for the deck, and obviously the deck started, which is excellent. So 3 of the joists are down. I think it's about 4 or 5 more to put down, but the composite material is here, and it's just brilliant stuff. It's heavy, it's really nice to touch. It's made of 60% oak and 40% plastic, so it feels oaky, and it looks like oak in that kind of grain. It's just lovely stuff. And I've done a bit of stress test outside, and at the same time my friend Nigel was here, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he's more effective at stress testing than I am. I put the boards 400mm apart, the joists. He stood on the board, and there was a little bit of sag, and you know, he's a big bloke, or he's bigger than I am. And then I put the joists 300mm apart, and there was 0 sag. So I'm going to do it for 300 throughout the kind of the engine area, but there might be some just because of the gear throw and stuff, which might be a bit wider than that, but I'll support it where I can. So I'm really looking forward to getting that composite material up there. It looks brilliant. Yeah, can't wait for that. It's going to make a massive transformational difference there. Not to mention getting on and off the boat will make it, well, less of a death trap for me and for anyone else. So yeah, that'll be great. Crack on with that tomorrow, and yeah, loads more stuff. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye bye.